Hey guys, this is SUNSfan with an introduction to Jeremy Kahn. If you're interested in trying out this mod, simply search for Chip in the Dota 2 arcade. You can also join our Discord community at discord.gg/SUNSfan. Credits for this hero are listed on the screen. Jeremy Kahn, younger brother to Axe, is a strength hero who can act as your initiation or damage dealer. He's a true masochist by nature, as most of his skills cost health to use. Battle Thrust is a point target skill which will cost 20% of Jeremy's max HP to use. After a 1-second animation, it causes him to jump on top of an area, dealing 325 damage and slowing units by 50% in a 350 AoE. The slow tapers off over 4 seconds. Jeremy also gains status resistance for 4 seconds based on how many creeps or heroes he hits, with of course heroes providing more. Lastly, for each hero you hit with this spell, 8% of your max HP is returned to you. If you do not hit any heroes, however, Jeremy himself will get slowed. Fury is an active instant ability which costs 15% max HP to use. When cast and after a 2-second delay, units in a 300 area around Jeremy will take damage and be pushed 350 units away from him. This push counts as a mini-stun. The damage done is a base of 50 plus 15% of Jeremy's max HP. Non-hero units, however, will only be affected by the base damage. Please note that this skill does not have any cast animation, meaning you can cast it while running without stopping. Greater Fortitude is a passive ability which serves 2 functions. Number 1 is pretty simple. Jeremy constantly gets 8 HP regen per second. The second function will passively deal 10% of the damage you take in a 300 area around Jeremy. This buff lasts for 5 seconds and has a cap of 80 damage per second. Keep in mind that self-damage does count toward this, meaning your first 2 skills will activate this ability. Red Mist Arena is Jeremy's ultimate and is his only ability that costs mana. After a 0.8 second delay, you will create a 350 AoE impassable barrier around yourself for 6 seconds. No one can leave or enter the arena, and spells and attacks will not work from the outside going in, or vice versa. If any enemy comes in contact with an arena wall, they will bounce back 100 units and take 100 damage. While the arena is active, Jeremy gains 150 bonus damage and cannot die. Well, unless he's facing his brother.
Mogo, is that you?
Aghanim Scepter can be used by Jeremy. When purchased, lava will enter the Red Mist Arena, where both Jeremy and his enemies will take 100 damage per second. Now let's go over his talents and then we can wrap up with some basic gameplay tips. For talents at level 10, there's a choice between 8 strength or 15% magic resistance. At 15, it's plus 5 second greater fortitude duration or an extra 300 range on battle thrust. At level 20, it's 50 movement speed or 50 attack speed. And at level 25, it's a choice between plus 3 second Red Mist Arena duration or instant cast of Red Mist Arena. Now for some general gameplay tips. Early on, I would recommend maxing your passive, as that will be an amazing way to harass in lane. It also serves as a good way to farm while maintaining some level of tankiness. Maxing Battle Thrust should be your next priority, with a potential value point of Fury if you feel the need. Fury is the only true mini-stun you have, but will come at a pretty great cost to your health and won't really deal much damage until you've beefed up. Battle Thrust, on the other hand, is very good for farming and even better for ganking from the shadows. But remember, you yourself will be slowed if you do not hit any heroes. It can also be used to hop up terrain, so an escape is definitely possible for young Jeremy. Lastly, there's a 1-second cast time for this ability, but you can animation cancel it. Try to use that to your advantage to fake out the enemy. Your ultimate is extremely powerful, but can be difficult to land depending on who you're going up against. That's because unlike Battle Thrust, you cannot cancel Arena once you've cast it. It will go off no matter what. The ultimate itself acts as an amazing fight disruption, as heroes from the outside have to pretty much ignore the arena. Remember, no one can escape the arena, not even Jeremy can TP out. Once you're inside, you must commit. Keep in mind that spells will not work from the outside in and vice versa. So if an Earthshaker tries to cast Fissure directly in the arena, he won't be able to. He could cast it on the outside though, and of course the Fissure will still technically be inside the arena, but the spell will still have no effect, meaning it will not stun or do damage. Mana burn is definitely Jeremy's biggest counter. Your int gain is pretty horrendous and your ult costs quite a bit of mana. Speaking of stats, his strength gain isn't too great either, which is why his item build is so important. So the general combo you'll be looking for is to initiate with Battle Thrust, into an ultimate, and then a Fury. The synergy should be pretty obvious once you've actually played around with them, but I'll just explain them really quick. Your Q and W cost health, and when you take damage, your passive deals damage in turn. So just jumping on a hero with your Q can deal a lot of damage over time. The extra status resistance can be helpful in getting your ultimate off as well, but not really needed a lot of the time. Your Fury is amazing in many different scenarios. It can be okay for escape, but the problem is you're expending tons of health, which you can't always spare in those situations. The most obvious synergy with Fury is your ultimate, which will cause enemies to bump up against the walls and take damage. And the more HP you gain throughout the game, the more damage Fury will do. That's why getting a Vanguard or an eventual Heart is massive. But for combos not including your ult, just jumping on someone with Q and using the slow to your advantage to position your hero in the right spot to reposition them with the W is definitely the play. Of course, you can always use your Fury in certain situations to set up your Battle Thrust as well, but that is a little bit more advanced. If you don't care about which way you push your enemy and are just looking for the damage, you can cast Fury and then jump immediately, at which point your Fury will go off shortly after you land. And of course, just repositioning with Fury and Blink Dagger can be very effective as well. Keep in mind that using your Q and W will in fact not cancel Blink Dagger. Speaking of items, Armlet is amazing because it will activate your passive as well as increase your HP, and even help you survive past your ultimate if you're low, thus synergizing with the hero pretty perfectly. There's a lot of other cool combos you can pull off with this hero, but those are the basics. We hope you find Jeremy as fun as I do. If you're looking for a game, feel free to organize it on our Discord, link of which is in the description. Also, if you're an artist and have any assets you'd like us to use, or if you'd just like to help out in any way, email us at community@dotacinema.com. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for a lot more updates to come.
Jeremy spoke in class today.